What's like the craziest thing you've ever done for $1? Like people are selling plasma, they sell their sperm. Like, what?
Oh my God.
I sell sandwiches.
Oh, true.
There was a movie that came out like 15 plus years ago called Balls of Fury. That was like a kind of ping pong
movie.
comedy.
Thomas Lennon, right?
Thomas Lennon's in it. The lead is Dan Fogler, and he's like a heavy-set bearded guy. I got hired to work 3 weekends in a month dressing up as this guy and handing out ping pong balls and Solo cups that were branded with Balls of Fury stuff at bars with a woman who is dressed with another woman activator who's dressed as like a sort of traditional Asian stereotype, and we had to. It was $100 a night or $125 a night, and if we did all 9 nights, we got a $2,100 bonus.
Whoa!
And I was like, and this is like the year 2008 or whatever, and I'm broke as fuck. And I'm like, we have to do this. After like 4 nights of like me defending her from being harassed by like drunk college kids in the East Village, and me being like, what am I doing out dressed in this like short shorts? And people are like, hey, you man, like pulling your wig off and I'm like, what am I doing? And then I quit, and I'm like, now I know why those put a $2,100 bonus, because nobody finishes.
That. Yeah, no one's making that.
So that's one of the worst things I've done for money. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had to do a prank show.
I thought this was a prank show.
So did I.
We don't know who we're pranking, but,
but it keeps happening.
I can't tell if it's the crowd, us, or
There's
the
never
producers.
a reveal. It's just every day. I had to do a prank show early on in my career where I had to tell a classroom full of musical scholarship kids that the music department was being shut down.
No.
Jesus.
Wait, what?
And then at the end of the episode, they would find out that in fact it wasn't being shut down, that they were getting a grant, and then the All-American Rejects were going to play a set for them. Like,
well, that's great.
That's like a double prank.
it was it was not great.
You broke our heart for a sec.
First of all, they had to listen to the American Rejects.
That's
They're like, you know what? Shut the music program down.
But doing the job was the worst thing I've ever had to do, because you're not paid when you're I've gone on this before. Prank shows are the lowest form of comedy. It's punked is the lowest form of entertainment. And
they just stress me out so much.
I love it, and it's awful.
Yeah, I don't mind watching it, but like
Candid camera, like that shit.
Camera.
That was like, but when it starts to get like malicious, and like,
when it's like people being like,
like your scholarship is gone. That's
and so these kids are musical scholarship, right? Which means that in other areas, if you think of like traditionally kids with musical scholarships, maybe they aren't as equipped, like socially. So when you have a microphone in your ear and they're like, tell them that it's their fault that the string section is being removed. And you're like staring at this kid who's like quivering, like being like, why are you taking away our instruments?
pranking kids is rude.
It was,
too.
what show was this for?
It was called like Schooled or something. It was like it was a gig. It was just a gig that you had that. And I beat out like a ton of people, like everybody auditioned for it.
Right, and then at the time you're like, oh, okay, that's not a bad payday. Wait, what do I have to do?
It was not even a good payday. I think it was like $700 for the day.
Yeah, which is a good payday, but not in the grand scheme of things.
For what I had to do.
Yeah,
I mean the other actress.
There's probably so many people watching right now. Is like, I'll tell a kid he's gonna die. For
but like the other actress walked off mid thing because you had she was playing the other teacher. You had like a thing in your ear, and they were telling her like, make him play for the thing. Tell him to play right now, and if it's good enough, he can keep it. And the kid was like, and she was like, I can't do it. And she's like talking to the thing, and it's like kids are like, what's going on? And they shut down production for like 5 minutes because it was like weird. It was like seeing a Disney character without the head. Yeah. And then the actress left. She's like, I can't.
Better person than you.
Yeah.
Way better. I was like, I need that $700, but it was one of the first times where you're really, when you're young and you get into this business, you're like, it's all glitz and glam and big lights, and like, you're just excited to do anything. And then you realize like the true underbelly of everything in this business, the true underbelly is how much will you do for money?
Sell your soul.
it doesn't matter.
Where
Like,
human C-stands.
It's like, how much will you do for this dollar is the base of the industry. And some people can...
Isn't that for any industry?
No, because the skills...
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but it's more that we're attaching our...
Yeah.
Your name is not against it.
True.
You know, like, you sit at a desk and you're like, oh, this sucks. But like, you know, the company is the one that is responsible. Yeah, this is you.
Yeah.
So there's a certain element of like every single job, whether it's we talk about this a lot, whether it's like you're the Tom Cruise or you're the background actor on a movie, it is all about what will you degrade yourself to do for that money at that moment. And
it's a beautiful industry.
And spin in a way that comes out looking glorious.
But I feel like that goes back to your like feelings around your career too, which is like what you said at the beginning of the show, where you're so cautious about not doing things that are connected as much to the paycheck.
Yeah. Well,
not being like, not McConaughey.
I think for me at least, I mean, that's the goal, right?
I'm down to do stuff for the paycheck.
Yeah, like I will.
Those offers aren't banging.
I will do stuff for the money, and I do stuff for the money. I don't really get that.
Has that changed since you had kids?
No, because my career hasn't changed. Like if, like John was saying, like I will do stuff for money for sure. I love to do stuff for money, and I like the work.
Guys, think about that. Like, if you have offers, Adam is down.
Yeah, reach out.
Reach out. And you know what? They know that.
Yeah, good.
Which is sad. But
one-on-one. Like, he'll meet up with you.
I will do anything for money. But I really try hard, and I feel like that's the only way that you sustain is if you're like, there needs to be some sort of through line from thing to thing.
I said no to $100K last week.
Good for you.
Yeah, for a deal that was like all about, I hate girl math. And I don't know why they offered me this money, but it was like, I was a huge proponent against girl math, like literally in the news being like, this just makes it seem like women are so bad with money. Math? Girl math is like, I'm returning a package that I paid for, and because I'm getting that $100 credit from Zara.
Is it essentially like boy dinner?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you seen those memes?
Yeah, exactly. Like boy dinner, like whatever.
Like girl dinner is like a martini, a Caesar salad.
Yeah.
And a boy dinner is like yesterday's pizza.
Yeah, it just like dumbs down. It basically is like, how are women tricking themselves into like being bad with their finances? Like girl math, like, if I return that package and then I get that $100 credit, then I have $100. Girl math. And it's like, no, that's your money.
I can understand that logic. I'm a victim of it too.
Of course, but it's not something to own.
No, it's definitely not something to attach to a gender.
I know.
Yeah. And it's super, it's like that is the base level of like what we all struggle with every day is like the idea in our head is like, is this worth what, do I have enough? You know what I mean? Like to then be the face of a campaign for that.
And they were like obviously going to put spend behind it. And I was just like, ooh, like not me though.
I'm very proud of you. I don't know if
100K is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I have a really good, I really believe in money as like energy, and I have a really good relationship to it in terms of like my abundance and my ability to attract it.
Wow, that's really nice.
Whoa, yeah. I like that.
You're almost like putting out. It's like you're almost like manifesting.
I'm really
money.
good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can do it. I'm like, and also I know the work that I do is valuable.
Right,
so
you have a skill.
Yeah, and so it's like I'm never. Of course, it would be great to have that money, but it's like what you're saying, sort of like, you got to see the forest through the trees. Like if I do that, then I'm degrading the brand that I've worked 8 years to build, and that will ultimately pay me so much more than $100K.
Well, if you're on your 7-year cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's, it's hard. I mean, the paychecks can be blinding, but it's like, I say no to a lot of stuff because especially with like financial influencing, people want you to do, so many things that are just not good for other people's money. And the reason that I'm in the game is not, it's sort of similar to you, and like where it's not as much like, of course, making money is this amazing part of it. And I love money and I love
But if it
having
at
money.
all butts up against like your belief,
Exactly.
and then you lose any credibility,
Yeah.
like it's not worth it, because then like people are like, well, Mrs. Dow Jones, she's
Exactly.
in big girl math's pocket or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, she's the face of girl math. It's
Yeah.
like, no, that actually just makes me seem like I'm so bad with money.
Right.